All right. How's it going, man?
Good. How are you, Jason?
Still at work. Lovely, lovely cubicle behind me.
Are you really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. I think I'm gonna probably head home right after this though, so that's good. So, no big deal. Just it's been a busy few weeks with this project I'm on. So, lots of late nights.
Oh
That's how it
man.
goes though. That's how it goes though. Well, we're here to talk about this weekend in which I won't be working. So, stop number 3. It's been a weird year, I think, but um, I don't know. It feels like we should be further into the season than this to me, but stop number 3 going south.
Way south.
Way, way south. First 2 events up north. Now we're heading south. Hardy Lake. Ever been there, Jim?
I have not.
Me either. It's new for me. It sure looks pretty on maps and pictures I've seen of it. It looks really, really pretty. I know several of the people that are fishing with us this weekend are actually already down there and camping out for a few days and stuff. So um, hopefully it's a nice campground and accommodating for them. I don't
And
know if
not
I'll.
too hot.
Yeah, well,
Hopefully, there's a little bit of a breeze.
right. Yo. Um, don't have a whole lot to cover tonight. Just our normal captain's meeting stuff, right? So first thing first, I'll go ahead and answer. We've got 21 registered so far. I'm sure, like every other event, there's several people that are waiting to the last minute to do it, which is fine. But we have had a couple people ask um, when registration closes, and so we'll just reiterate that registration doesn't close until lines in on Saturday. So you can register from the boat ramp as you're unloading if you want. So uh, that's an easy one. So as you can see on the screen here, the important times for this weekend. We're gonna get everybody on the. You can get on the water at 6 a.m. Um, just to reiterate a little bit on that one, on the water means leaving the area of the boat ramp and heading towards your fishing location, right? Stay within reason of the boat ramp until 6 a.m. and then you can head out on the water. Fishing gets started at 6:30. We say lines in because we mean it. No fishing before then. We definitely won't be accepting any fish of photos or photos of fish taken prior to that, but no fishing before 6:30 a.m. Keep
And
your
if you're
rods.
caught with your line in the water before 6:30 a.m., say somebody submits a picture, you're disqualified for the day.
Yep, yep. I just leave my rods in my crate until 6:30. That's what I do. Lines out 2:30. That means all photos of your fish must be taken prior to 2:30. So 2:59:59.9999999.
229.
Yep, 2:29.
29. Mhm.
Yep. Thank you.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
su- Submissions due by 3 p.m. One thing I will say about that, I haven't been there and I haven't heard any reports. I assume that there's reasonable cell signal there. Um, if it turns out there's not, make sure you're back to tournament headquarters in time, in a timely fashion, and we'll work to take care of things. If we need to extend that so that you have an opportunity to go somewhere else to get signal, we'll work that out. Communicate with us, and we'll be accommodating on that. That's actually one concern I have, and I just I haven't heard one way or the other. I'm going to go under the assumption that if we haven't heard that cell signal's horrible and they can't get submissions in, that somebody would have said something by now. But Mark Howell is reporting that signal is bad. Chad Howard says Verizon not great. Um, so keep that in mind. Probably one of the best things to do. Stephen Bailey says it isn't bad. So Marcus says, no, will there be Wi-Fi available? I get no service at all. I can provide Wi-Fi, but it's through Verizon, so I don't necessarily have an answer for that one. Um, I'll be down there Saturday. I'll do some scouting and figuring that out. Is that a valid response, you think, Jim?
I think so, and I still think that wherever this is going to occur, it needs to be done by 3 o'clock p.m.
Okay.
I mean, I guess all I'm saying is plan it if you're having reception issues, plan to meet Jason wherever this location is, and you may have to get off the water a few minutes early. Um, that way that way we can get all the judging done and stuff, and for awards to be done by 4.
Okay. So I'll work with you guys. We'll get this figured out, okay? I promise. Um, I know there's a campground in the park. I don't know if the campground provides Wi-Fi. Um, we'll get this figured out for sure. So don't sweat it, but plan it, right? It's not unusual for more rural tournaments to have to build that into part of your planning, right? That's kind of what you're saying, right, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, I've known people that have to get off the water 2 hours early because their spot was worth only, yeah, they're only fishing for 6 hours, but it was worth it to
Right.
go off the grid.
Yep. So tournament headquarters, I think we covered all the times there and discussed all of that. Tournament headquarters is I provided this map on TourneyX with the circled area. That's what the park manager asked us to use. Um, this is the beach, the public beach there. Um, can't guarantee parking, but it looks like a rather large lot. I don't think it's going to be a giant issue. It's not a long walk from the boat ramp next to it, so if we need to do that, we can. But it'll be in the grassy area just north of the parking lot. And that's where we will hold awards. The allowable launches, again, this map provided by the DNR and listed on the TourneyX page. You've got 4 ramps here. You've got the Alpha ramp, the Sunnyside ramp, the Carmel ramp, and the Wooster ramp. And those are really the only details I have on those. The parking areas seem reasonable, especially for a smaller event like this. This lake is just shy of 800 acres, I believe, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I didn't write it down in there, but should be plenty of room for a smaller event like what we seem to be having right now. If we would have had 100 guys sign up, I'd be pretty nervous, but we should be good. Jim, you want to go over our safety procedures?
Absolutely. For the, I'm assuming we're going to have some first timers fishing with us, and just to remind everybody, there's a check-in, check-out feature on TourneyX. Please use it. Check in, at whatever launch that you're launching from. Check out when you get out of the water. That just so I realize we're not in some out in the mountains or anything, but that way we know that everybody got off the water safely. PFD is required at all times. So if you're in the boat, your PFD needs to be on. I think that's really it.
You got it.
But yeah, it's a check-in, check-out feature. It just helps us to know that everybody made it off the water safely.
I haven't checked the weather report today, but when I looked at it last night, I think the only thing we might be worried about is heat.
Yeah, no kidding.
But
speaking of that, I mean, make sure a good idea is something that I always do. I always freeze water bottles, and that way they don't heat up as fast, and they stay colder longer. I mean, they're still going to get a little warm in the afternoon, but if you can freeze some water bottles, some Gatorade, whatever it is, have that on board, because when it gets hot, it's miserable sometimes, and there's not a lot of protection out there. Wear sunscreen.
Right now they're talking a 3% chance of rain, partly sunny, and a high of 93. So that's a good suggestion you had, Jim. In fact, I actually will take 2 water bottles and completely freeze them solid, and then that's what I actually use to keep my cooler cool. So in my food or other drinks that I take with me, I don't use an ice pack. Um, I don't use ice. I just use frozen water bottles to keep everything else cool. It's a
And then you can
great
use
little
them.
trick. Yep, those are my afternoon waters. Mark Howell has reported that there's a lot of stumps just under the water. Um, Obviously, for safety reasons, something you guys need to be aware of, especially you guys running motors. That can get squirrely fast if you run into one of those bad boys. I'm proud of you, Eric, for actually remembering your PFD this time. Eric forgot his at the James event, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and speaking of submerged stumps, I've been stuck on them before, and they can be a bear to get off of. So don't hesitate to call if
Yep.
you're stuck. I'd rather find somebody to come help you as opposed to for you to dump yourself and all your gear.
Yep.
I mean, those can be a bear if you get stuck just the right way. Um, they can be a bear to get off of.
Maybe that's another blessing for being a small lake, right? Like, probably be able to yell and get somebody over to help you fairly quick.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
And don't be afraid to yell.
that's
It's
right.
worth saving your gear.
That's right. That's right. So we've talked about what you need for safety. What are the other things we have to have? We need your measuring board must be a catch board. Whether that's the plastic one, whether that's the Catch X, or the original catch board with the black cradle, has to be catch. No hog troughs, no fish sticks, no golden rules. Has to be a or catch board. I almost said it wrong again.
Now,
Um,
we
Go
also
ahead.
need a DNR lake permit. Where
That's right.
where can those be applied if somebody's not pre-fishing and they show up at 5 o'clock in the morning? How are they going to get a permit?
They have to get one from a gatehouse, whether or a property office, whether that's at Hardy or any other state park near where they're at. Um, so that's a good question, Jim. I should have confirmed what time someone would be at the gatehouse at Hardy. Being that it's a state park with a campground and we're in season, I'm making the assumption that the gatehouse is staffed 24 hours, especially on the weekends. So you would be able to purchase one there. I would recommend
Okay.
getting one in advance if you can. You can buy them online. It's too late to get it to you um, before the event. Uh, it is not recommended that you purchase it online and use the receipt if DNR stops you. That will be officer's discretion because it even says right on the website that a receipt saying you purchased one is not valid. Um, that'll be officer's discretion on that one, I'm sure. And your token. Got to have that. So you can use the Indiana Kayak Anglers token published on our website, also linked on Tourney X as you see, or you can use the KBF token. The identifier code will be released at 9 p.m. on Friday. Marv Jacobs is reporting that the gatehouse won't be open until 8 a.m.
Fantastic.
Uh, huh. If you don't have yours yet, I would recommend you probably find a state park near you, purchase one. Um, okay. Is there anything else we need to talk about, Jim?
I don't think so, no. I mean, we could probably make a couple phone calls and post our findings, I guess, when it comes to the gatehouse and stuff like that. And I mean, I doubt we're going to get anybody to come in that early, but it might be worth a shot.
Yep, we will. Sounds like there's a few questions outstanding. We'll get those lined up and get answers out to everybody. But if nobody else has any questions and we don't have anything else to cover, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up and see everybody on Saturday.
Good luck, everybody, and safe travels.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We'll see you out there. Bye-bye.